Hello, my lovelies! This is Jenny from Jenny's Fun Facts. We just want to take a moment to thank you so much, P Eats Meal Preps, for sponsoring our episodes. New menu out every Friday, order by Sunday, delivered fresh by Tuesday, and guess what? They deliver to all Montreal surrounding areas as well. Healthy, fresh, and delivered to your door for free. Add them and our podcast on Instagram at p.eats_P as in Peter, R-E-P as in Peter, S. Thanks, P Eats Meal Preps.
Welcome back to Noon Hour Out of the Box. This is actually episode 52. I cannot believe it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Your constant love and support is so appreciated. A huge thank you to our producer, Jenny DeHame, who actually makes all this happen, and to my incredible co-host, who's actually my really good friend, and he's my mentor, Mr. Robert D'Alessio. How are you today, Robert? What are you looking for?
Where is he?
It's you. It's always you.
Wow.
How are you this morning? Or I should say early afternoon.
I'm excited. You know, it's ironic is that we're talking about infidelity, but on the other hand, I'd like to talk about fidelity and loyalty. You've been loyal for 52 episodes.
I have not strayed. You are my only podcast co-host.
Well, you know, who knows? Maybe other podcasts can pop up and, hey, you know, whatever happens. Kiss the rock. And folks, just notice we did something to spice things up over here. We feel like summer's around the corner and we wanted to get like very summery. So we got that nice bright orange color. And, you know, all of a sudden I feel like eating oranges right now.
It's great. I love it. It sort of has this sunburst quality to it, so it makes me feel more alive. And it really works with the logo as well. So good job, Robert. I just want to give a little trigger warning to our audience that today we will be discussing infidelity and betrayal, and just be warned in case this is actually a trigger for you. So I just want, this is just out of, concern and your own self-care. So please beware. But we tend, we want to make it an interesting, informative show, and at the same time, have a little fun, even with this sort of subject.
Exactly. We would like to thank all the viewers who are tuning in. This is really exciting. We have a feeling that it's going to be a great show. We have a lot of folks tuning in, and we would like to also welcome all of the folks tuning in from TikTok, from all over the world. Hello, everybody. Thank you for your fidelity, your loyalty. Thanks for being there, everybody.
Yes, we have one who Nicolette, she's from Burlington, Ontario, and she's tuning in, and she commented earlier that she herself has never been cheated on or cheated herself. So yeah, so that, because I did put the question out there. Well, so
Nicolette, pay close attention, okay, because we're going to be giving you some tips, some warning signs, some things to look for, some early warning signals that your partner may be cheating. So this is going to be a great show, folks. You don't want to miss this. And we invite you to participate, come up with your questions, come up with your comments, share with us your experience. We're here for you. We're going to have a ball today. So speaking about balls, Esther, let's get the ball rolling.
So, Robert, you and I, we have a lot in common. We also have a lot of differences. And I'm going to pose this question to you. Is infidelity for you a deal breaker, or can you forgive?
That is a very hard question to answer. I'm going to do my best answering it. It all depends on the circumstances. Obviously, there's one thing that's going to happen is that the trust is going to be breached and it's going to be broken forever. That can never come back. There is always going to be this weariness that I'm going to have towards a partner. I'm always going to be worried. Is she really going out where she says she's going out? Is she really doing what she says she's doing? There's always going to be that's broken, but forgiving, yes, it's possible to forgive. It depends on the circumstances. If she was forced into it, she was confused at the moment. But one thing's for sure, that's the only time it can happen. And don't get caught again, because there won't be a second time. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I had very distinct feelings about it, but the last few days I've been talking to a lot of friends and some colleagues, and I'm starting to get another view, another perspective on things. So my feeling has always been about the emotional type of infidelity as opposed to physical. For me, it was always, if there's an emotional breach of trust, then I don't know if I can go back. In other words, emotional infidelity, it is not necessarily physical. And interestingly enough, in the research, I discovered that 90% of women actually do engage in emotional infidelity, as opposed to something like 73% for men. So it is high in both genders, but women tend to do it more. Interestingly enough, for me, that is kind of a deal breaker. Physical infidelity, if it's a one-time thing, and I'm being, if it's the person is transparent and open about it, I can forgive. So, but that's me. And I think it's all perspective. I think that if someone is open and honest and willing to work on it, and it's a mistake, and it's just purely physical, I can see where I can forgive. Now, every circumstance is different. I say that I have never really experienced it, except, it's interesting. I talk about trigger warning. I had totally forgotten that when I was a teenager, my very first love cheated on me with my best friend.
Oh, no.
And I was not able, and even though it wasn't, it was, sort of a teenage, just, kissing and hugging type of thing. I could not go back after that. I was no longer able to be friends with my girlfriend or with the boy that I was involved with. That I had to completely break that off. So, I say that, and though it was just a one-time thing, I was not able to forgive. Perhaps it's maturity that has led me to feel differently about things, but it is very controversial, and everybody has their own feelings about it. Different countries have different feelings about it. It could be also based on religion. It's a moral question as well. And we ask ourselves, if it's such a taboo, why do more than 50% of people cheat?
Well, you see, in your case, what happens, just to go back to when you're saying as a youth you were cheated on, what happened is that was absolutely devastating. You were cheated on twice.
Yes, exactly.
Twice, in the sense that the person that was sharing, your love cheated on you, but your best friend, she betrayed you.
Yeah. We were only 16, but it was still, it still hurt a lot. That
is absolutely despicable. I'm sorry. That is unforgivable. And so much that if, I would, let's say, have a friend who has and let's say I would be single. He's going out with a girl. I don't know, it's 3-4 years, they break up. And, I always would have liked to go out with this girl, but because it's my best friend's girlfriend, I wouldn't even dare try to make it a move. So much to the point that even if they do break up, I couldn't bring myself to date that girl anyway. That's how loyal I am. But then again, I am a Leo. So if astrological signs have anything to do with a person's character traits, well, there you go. I couldn't bring myself to that level.
Oh, I understand. So once you have been cheated on, once you've experienced infidelity, how do you recover from that?
My God, it is, I think it's very, very painful. The only thing is that person that cheated on you is going to have to work very hard. The way to recover is that person is going to have to work very hard in regaining your trust. And that person is going to have to tell you very often that he or she loves you. And she's going to have to be around proving it. And one thing that you don't do, I'm going to give you an example, is I see a lot of guys, I don't see girls do it, but they probably do it from the inside, is that when they're passing by, they're walking and they see this gorgeous girl passing by, they just turn around and it's kind of obvious, It's like, idiot, you don't do that. Your girlfriends are like, shut up, So that's kind of an innocent way of, you can't say cheating, but it's an innocent way, of being disrespectful. No, it's not an innocent way of being disrespectful. It's actually a full way of being disrespectful. But there's many ways of being unfaithful to someone, and I'm going to give you from experiences that I've had from friends and people I've talked to. There are lots of signs that you have to look out for.
That's true.
Are telltales.
Yeah.
For example, your girlfriend, I don't know, is 140 pounds, normal weight. All of a sudden, well, she signs up at a gym. Okay, several, as we say in French. She starts slimming down, starts taking selfies, starts becoming very conscious of herself. All of a sudden, she's going to the hairdresser more often, getting her nails done. She's going out for drinks with friends, coming home late. These are all signs that, hey, there may be something happening over here. So, you have to be careful for these signs, and you have to be very aware. And a real giveaway is that all of a sudden, he or she has a password in his or her phone. But that's not all. It becomes personal. She doesn't want to share the password with you. It's personal. She's allowed to have her personal life. That is a huge warning sign. Watch out.
Robert, the minute you said that, it was exactly what I had on my mind, that is a telltale sign, the improvement of your appearance, suddenly being very concerned of how you dress, losing weight, going out, taking calls in another room, having strange texts coming in. They are warning signs, absolutely. But then again, there are people who are aware of that and find a way to get around it and not be so obvious. So, there's a fine line, but yes, that is definitely screaming something is going on. Yes, and for men as well, whether it's just not women. If a man is also going to the gym and he's also going out more with his friends and, also taking calls in another room, being a bit more secretive, being online a lot more, being on the phone a lot more. These are all signs to look out for. A lot of people don't tune into it, unfortunately, but from experience and knowledge that I have from friends, that's usually exactly what goes down.
And there's the occurrences when your significant other is sitting down in the passenger seat and you're driving, and all of a sudden she opens up the glove compartment to get her brush, and there's that nice box of condoms in there.
Oh my God.
Oh, silly me. I forgot to take him out of the car.
Oh gosh.
What are these things here? Oh, that's my friend. He came in the car. He didn't want his wife to know, so he left him in my car.
Yeah, that one's pretty obvious, but yes, that's definitely a sign as well. And there are many signs, and sometimes you even feel them distance themselves emotionally from you. They may distance themselves physically from you as well.
Yes.
And everybody strays for different reasons. There are if we look at gender, women do stray more because they're unfulfilled in their life as a couple, where men tend to stray more for physical reasons. As we go through some of the information, Robert, you're going to see that statistically men and women do differ in their reasons for infidelity, and but we should start with how to recover.
Well, how to recover, again, it's that
it's the first slide, actually.
Yeah, that person's gonna have to work very, very hard to convince the other person that it was a one-time thing, and it's gonna be as hard for the person who cheated to win back the other person's trust and love than actually the person who's been cheating on. It's two different ways of dealing with it, but it's as difficult. So it's something very, very difficult to go through, and I think getting some professional help is not a bad thing to do. Seeing a psychologist to know how you deal with that. And here we go. Sonia Huggins, who makes a nice comment. In my 36 years of marriage, infidelity is a deal breaker on both sides. Okay. We both decided from day one that faithfulness was one of the hallmarks of our relationship. You know what, Sonia?
Absolutely.
Good on you, because like I said, once you cross that line, you go over the line. It's very, very hard. It's very hard to come back and regain the trust. If you're lucky enough to have a forgiving partner, be blessed, but just don't do it again. If you have to cheat on someone, if your relationship is not working out, definitely there's something wrong. You should go get some professional help, and don't be saying that, hey, I don't need any help. It's you the problem. No, you know what? It takes two to tango. I think you should get some help. And if it's not working out, well, you know what? Just break up the relationship.
Robert, that could be very long and involved. People that you have children, there's financial reasons, there's children involved. It's a lot more complicated. Again, it's the reasoning behind it. If it's a one-time thing, if it's a mistake and your partner is opened up to you and willing to work at it, and you both go to work at it, forgiveness is it's a hallmark of human behavior, and it's an equality that we all have. And even in these circumstances, there are times that forgiveness comes into play. And so I do think that there are circumstances where one can forgive. Of course, there are, when it is, and you'll see also in the statistics that when it comes to affairs, most affairs last about 6 months. So when we're talking about an affair, which usually is an emotional component, that's something else as well. But again, we all have our difference of opinion, and so at what point is it a deal breaker? Is it an all or nothing, like in Sonia's case, or is it circumstantial, which is my feeling about things? So Sonia says neither one of us is forgiving, period. Anyway, that's our story. I can't speak for others. I totally get it and respect that. But every individual has their own, concept of what, at what point they can forgive.
Well, my question is to the audience out there, and you're welcome to participate. Even though a spouse, a partner has been cheated on multiple times, they still stay in the relationship. Why do they still stay in the relationship? Is it because they're comfortable financially? Is it because they have a house, a roof over their head? What are the reasons that would keep someone in a relationship that has been cheated on? So that's my question to the audience over here. And Esther, maybe you can start off the whole party by answering that question with your own take on it.
So repeat the question.
Yeah, it's why does a person stay in a relationship even though he or she has been cheated on?
So oftentimes what you suggested is right on. It's financial reasons, because of kids. They're just comfortable in the life that they're leading, or and some people actually have relationships where they're more like roommates as opposed to, romantic partners, and they're okay with it. There are many different variations. It all depends on what the couple agrees. Like in Sonia's case, they made that deal from day one. It is a deal breaker. Forget it. No matter what it is, we're over. Some couples say, well, if you want to have an open relationship, and let's discuss it, and blah, there are many different takes on it, but it has to be, in terms of an agreement between two people, what they want in their relationship and what their expectations are. Lots of times we don't talk about it, to be quite honest, until it actually occurs. But yes, my experience, and I've 65 years of it, I have seen couples stay together for financial reasons. Probably the number one reason. Number two is the kids. Oftentimes you will see that couples break up once the kids grow up, that they wait. Even though there's difficulties in their marriage, they wait until the children are old enough, and they will then change the status of their relationship. So and knowingly that there is a partner that is cheating in that circumstance.
Well, I know that even though Sonia with her husband made a pact, good on you, and you keep the pact, good on you. But I know some instances that people have made a certain pact like that. I would never forgive my spouse. Forget it. And it actually happens to them.
Yeah.
They don't live up to their word.
Yeah, it's easy to say, and unless every circumstance is different, it's easy to say. So where, to me, it is about being transparent, being open, being willing to work at it. Do that saying, once a cheater, always a cheater. I don't know about that. Again, there are people who are just, compelled to cheat. It's just their thing. But there's other people who just, it's a one-time thing, or it's a two-time thing with the same person. And it's just that, cheating there's so many reasons behind it, Robert. There's, people are unfulfilled, people are unhappy. People are emotionally starving in their relationships. Some people just feel incredibly lonely. And then there's the other side where people are perfectly happy in their marriage and it's just purely a physical thing. So there, so every circumstance is different. There are hundreds of thousands of relationships therapists out there. There's a reason for that. Like, why is that business thriving? It's because a lot of people run into these difficulties and a lot of people want to work at it. So, if it wasn't for the fact that we have all these therapists available to us, you would think, well, that it's not a problem in our society, but it's a huge issue, that keeps them in business. They are the ones who are, trained to deal with it. Infidelity is one of the main reasons why people go into therapy. So, as Jenny says, if you are just waiting for a cheat to happen in any relationship, then you are setting yourself up for disaster. Right away, you are already controlling the outcome of your desired relationship. That's true. If you go in waiting for that, of course, sometimes it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Sometimes if you have that mindset, well, they're going to cheat, you're going to behave in a way that perhaps will, cause the other spouse or mate or other person in relationship to do that. It is a complicated, convoluted subject, and there's many different ways to look at it. So, I'm glad that we're talking about it.
I have another question for the audience. Okay.
Sure. Go ahead, Robert.
What is cheating and what isn't cheating? Obviously, when you get into the whole sexual act, that's cheating. But then again, you get a famous president from the United States back a while ago. He only had oral sex.
Exactly.
That's not sex. That's not sex.
According to him. And some people think watching pornography is cheating. I mean, where do we draw the line? Like, what is it? Where do we say, okay, that's infidelity? That is a very personal, subjective. We have the obvious, that is a physical one, sleeps with another person, but there are so many different levels. And now in this day and age of having the access online, it is crazy. All those Tinder, 50% of men who are on Tinder are married.
Imagine. Well, I don't know how these guys can do it because it's a small world out there. Someone's going to end up seeing you up there and, hey, what's he doing up there? How are you going to explain that?
I think there might be, ways that you don't have to show your profile picture. I don't really know. I've actually never been on Tinder, so I have no idea. But like I said, in the research, it shows up that 50% of men that are on Tinder are married. So.
Okay, so Esther, I wanted to ask the question. Here comes the question. Okay, we were saying is obviously the act of sexuality itself is cheating. Is oral sex cheating? Yes, it is. And I have the ultimate question. Is French kissing, but not going any farther, a form of cheating? Is that considered cheating or not to you? My answer is yes. It is cheating on your partner if you French kiss someone. I'm sorry. That's the way I see it. How do you see that?
There's always difference. What if somebody drank too much and they were in this situation and it was a one-time thing, and if they're just very open and transparent to their spouse or mate about it. Will I break up if it's a 20-year marriage? I mean, will I break up a marriage just for that? No, I'd want to talk about it. And I'd appreciate that the person told me about it. And I'd want to discuss it because I don't want to throw away 20 years of a marriage or 10 years of a relationship. Like I said, there are circumstances like why did that happen? And perhaps we need to go into therapy because maybe there's things that you're not happy about, things that I'm not happy about. Let's work it out before we decide to break it up. That's my Robert. I'm going to be very transparent here. I was in marriage therapy for 8 years. 8 years
wow.
before my marriage ended. And it had nothing to do with infidelity.
You're good.
It was just to try to make it work. And we both did everything under the sun and that's what I'm like that. That is my perspective, is work at it. It's not black or white. There is a lot of gray area. Yeah, and which we're wearing. But there are many circumstances. It's too complicated. It's too convoluted. And I just was not willing to just say, forget it. We're not getting along and it's over. No, we both, and it wasn't even my idea. It was my ex-husband's idea to go for therapy. And we did it for 8 years. So just to let you know, I'm a believer in trying to make things work. That I can't just give up just like that, because as humans we're fallible, we're not perfect, and part of loving someone is to love the good and the bad. So first, let's try to work at it. Let's be transparent, let's be open, and if it just continues or just doesn't work, then it doesn't work. That's my perspective.
Before we going to read out Jenny's question over here, I'm going to ask the question again. Folks, don't be shy. Pronounce yourself. Nobody's going to know. We won't tell anyone.
Yeah.
We won't
just that it has your name, and we could check your profile out. And yes.
The question is, once again, is French kissing cheating on your partner? So go ahead and answer the question, dear audience, and let us read out this question here from our wonderful Jenny. She has got a question. What happens? And this is a very interesting question over here. What happens when one is an actor and has to kiss on screen? Do you feel that is cheating?
Interestingly enough, when I was first married, I was taking some acting classes. Yes, I did a long time ago. And I had a scene. I was doing a cat on a hot tin roof. And my scene partner and I had to kiss in the scene. And he actually came over to my apartment at the time, and I was newly married, and we would rehearse.
And you were kissing?
We didn't kiss until we actually did the actual performance.
And how
did we didn't do it in rehearsing, but we did it for the actual. But I told my husband at the time, like, this is part, and he was cool with it. It's not that I'm playing a character. He's playing a character. It's not real life. So how could it be cheating?
Okay, I have something for you. How many times has Julia Roberts ended up with her leading man? Hey, it's just acting.
That's another thing. Robert, acting. That's different. When people are on set for long periods of time, there's some attachments that occur, and statistically, one of the highest places that people meet the person they're going to cheat with is on the job. Well, that is percentage-wise one of the highest, and the second one is work trips. So that makes sense, right? If you look at those stats and you look at what these actors do when they go off for 3 months in another state or another city or country, and they're living with these people night and day, I could see it happening.
Well, another example is police officers. You get partners. You get the male and the female. They're partners. They spend their entire shift together, and they become friends. They become close and all that. How dangerous could that be?
Again, you have to know your boundaries. So Jenny says co-star chemistry rarely lasts. Yeah, exactly. There is, and it's true. They have to have the chemistry to begin with, because they do chemistry reads. Part of the process of being on film, sometimes when you're playing a couple, whether it is romantic or even if you're doing a father, son, mother, daughter, whatever, they do what they call chemistry reads to see if there's chemistry between the two actors. So chemistry is one of the things they look for between actors before they even hire them to perform on screen. So there's going to be some chemistry to begin with, but yes, it doesn't last. That's for sure. Yeah.
Something really important.
Uh-oh.
You're tuned into Noon Hour Out of the Box.
I had to get that off my chest.
So, Robert, interestingly enough, I just wanted to explain to people how common, is infidelity. And I'm just going to show a graph. It's from hetexted.com. And interestingly enough, unmarried relationships is 30 to 40%. In marriages, it's 18 to 20%. And then they looked at it geographically. People worldwide, 44%, American people, 70%. And when they say English, they mean UK, 40 to 50. So, 30 to 40, and in marriages, 18 to 20%. That's a pretty large percentage.
And we also have a slide there. I don't know if you can find it, Esther. It talks about getting caught in the act. And I want to go into that a little bit. Is there which one of the slides do we have that actually says we're caught in the act? Is it this one here? No, it's nearby anyway.
But this is interesting. Okay. So infidelity statistics, but this is internet infidelity. Okay, which is interesting because we are online. And if you want to go back to that.
Yes, here we go.
So people not single. Okay, so I exaggerated. I said 50. It's 42%.
Okay.
And I said men, but it could be both genders. I apologize for that. But yes, look at that. People not single on Tinder, 42%. Is it just for fun? Is it for play? Is it just to see who they could speak to? 17% of people in all dating apps use them for affairs. People addicted to cheating through phone contact, 50%. 13% of people cheat through real-time sex online, and 14% cheat by online affairs.
Oh wow, that is huge. It's humongous. And something just came to my mind as well. You know what happens? You get into a relationship and you become very comfortable. So what happened? All of a sudden, well, you met your girlfriend and you weighed 180 pounds. And you've been together for a year and a half, and all of a sudden you weigh 245 pounds. Now, that person that, she was dating, got to know, all of a sudden, to her, he's not appealing anymore. So that could be another reason that can trigger going off to cheat, because that person is not appealing to the other person that actually.
You know what I say to that, Robert? If you love someone and they go from whatever you said, 160 to 220, that should not be a deal breaker. That shows how superficial and immature the other person is. If you love someone, you love them at 250 and you love them at 120. That is a deal breaker for me. If somebody's going to stop being attracted to me or stop loving me because of the size of my body, that is ridiculous. So I don't want anything to do with that person. I mean, I think I just got triggered, Robert. To me, I've been a size 8 and I've been a size 16, and regardless, both the main partners in my life that was never an issue. You love someone, there's just more to love. That is my feeling about it.
You know what? Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm truly, truly blessed because my present girlfriend met me. I was a certain weight, and I'm up about 22 pounds right now. And she says she still loves her lovable, adorable panda bear.
Why wouldn't she? That is ridiculous. I mean, that to me, it is a horrendous reason to stray. So then that's not love. And if it gets to a point in a relationship that it's not just about the physicality of the person, it's who the person is. And if you're going to love them, if you're going to have, physical interaction, it's because of the person that they are, not because of, the fact that they may have a 24-inch waist or the guy is, has an 8-pack. That is absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion.
Just those few words that you said, if you love someone, that triggered something in my head. It's either Sting or the Police. There's a song, if you love someone. I can't get it out of my mind. My God.
Look what this one says. Nearly 57% of the cheaters willingly confess to their spouses that they've cheated. And that's from Truth About Deception. Yeah, that's the source. So 57. So there's a lot of guilt going on. So people cheat and they feel guilty. And so 57% is a lot. Hey, Michael Anchor. So nice to see you here. So
thanks for tuning in, bud.
yeah, so that just so those 57% who are admitting to it, obviously to them, part of it, they truly believe that it was an error on their part, it was a mistake, it was something that they'll never do again, etc. Again, there are many reasons for admitting that you've cheated as well, i.e. somebody there's a third party who may know and you want to tell your spouse or mate before the other person does.
Exactly.
There's that, there's all sorts of reasons. Everything is, there's many different perspectives. There's many different reasons. It is a very complicated, difficult question to answer. Is it a deal breaker? Can you forgive? There's a lot involved. And guys, if you want to, please tell us how you feel about this. Robert, there is this psychologist, Dr. Kathy Nickerson, who actually put out a little 1-minute video. She is a clinical psychologist, and she does a lot of online discussion about relationships. So I'm just going to play this little 1-minute video.
So, should you forgive a cheater? Will they cheat again? Once a cheater, always a cheater? Not necessarily. I think everybody deserves a chance, right? I think a lot of people cheat once because they're being very selfish. They don't know how to resolve whatever pain is going on in them that leads them to cheat, and they make a really poor and, not very bright decision. Does this mean they're a terrible person? No. Does it mean they will do it again? Not necessarily. Does this mean they are always going to cheat and you should just give up on the relationship and run away from them as fast as you can? No. I've seen a lot of people heal from cheating, and a lot of people realize it was a horrible mistake and never do it again. So if you love someone and you want to give them another chance and they're willing to do the work after they've strayed, I hope you will give them that.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, I agree with a lot of what she says, because she gives a perspective from a therapist, and again, like I said earlier, my own experience in therapy, that is sort of a mindset and how you work things through. So if your partner's already there to work on it, then there's a possibility that things can work out.
Okay, I have something to bring up over here. You
Absolutely.
If there's a stool pigeon, you want to beat the stool pigeon to it. Okay, so now that, if someone knows about the extramarital relationship you're having, and you found out that he or she is going to tell your spouse. Now I said, I don't have a choice. I'm going to beat her or him to it, and I'm going to actually confess. The fact of the matter is, you've already broken that trust. So now that you're going to go on and tell that you've cheated before the other person, and that person eventually ends up telling your spouse that you cheated, that he or she knew about it, where is the trust level? If you were dishonest enough to cheat on your partner, and now that you're giving your side of the story to it, is that also a lie? You lied to your partner, you be faithful to him or her, and now you're also telling him or her why this happened and all that. Where is the trust level? Can you be trusted? If he or she lied to me in the first place, isn't she lying to me again about what happened here and all that? You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think that there is this loss of trust that happens. Absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that if you choose to work on, is gaining the trust and trying to find the source of the issue of why this person strayed in the first place. So our banner here says the most common reasons why people involved in infidelity: need for emotional fulfillment, need for sexual fulfillment, need for attention, and past unhealed traumas. That's fascinating. So, and 50% of women who cheat are in love with their lover. And I believe that could happen as well. Like I said, women tend to, and it's that old saying that, men cheat for sex and women, cheat for emotional fulfillment. There is truth to that. There's absolute truth to that. So that is, that statistic makes sense to me. And yeah, as Jenny says, communication is key. It doesn't matter who says it first, as long as it is discussed in a respectful form. It takes courage to tell the truth after any situation that could be considered SIN. What does that stand for? What is
Sin.
that?
Sin.
Oh, I thought it was
Sin.
acronym. Okay, for considered sin. Okay.
No, it's
But then
not.
there's religious connotations there.
It-
Again, that's another whole other perspective.
It's
You know,
not social insurance number.
That's
no.
what I was wondering. Is that an acronym? Sin. Okay.
Hey,
I
Esther,
haven't heard that word in a long time. Yes.
take a little peek at your TikTok broadcast.
Yeah,
How's that coming
so-
along? Any comments? Anyone?
Yeah. So John says, I have been with my girlfriend for 31 years and I'm very happy.
Good for you, John.
Yeah. Let me just see if there's some before. No, it's never happened to me. And someone says, hey guys, new here. Nice to meet you all. All right.
Thanks for tuning
And
in.
lots of little hearts and flags. So that's
Beautiful.
wonderful. Yeah. Yeah.
Hugs and kisses back to you.
Yeah.
on TikTok. And also on our social media platforms, we're broadcasting on right now both the Esther's Breeze and Bobby Short Shorts YouTube channels and my personal Facebook page, Robert DeLestro. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in. We have some time left. We can take some questions. If you want to make some comments, you're relating to our subject today, go ahead, feel free, let us know.
Absolutely. And, you know, I just want to show you this little, how long does it last? That's an interesting question. So it appears that affairs that most of the affairs that end within 6 months, it's 65% to that particular subject. And less than a week is 25%. Long-term affairs, 10%. And women cheating more than once is 53%. And men cheating more than once, 67%. So that goes to what we said earlier. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Well, about half the time that's true with both genders. And that's, and these are statistics from 2022. I had this 28-page printout.
Wow.
To get all that information, tons. There must be about 30 different sources here. And, again, they even say people who they surveyed, how much truth are they actually putting out there in the actual survey? Even though they're anonymous, some people are not even 100% truthful in that respect as well. So it is the most recent stats, and they come from very reliable sources. And they go into great detail of, gender, age, even countries where there are more people confess to cheating. Some countries where it's absolutely forbidden and it's against the law that you can be imprisoned for cheating. So there's a large variety of different circumstance and different perspectives to look at.
Well, what happens as well is that when you're going into a new relationship, what's dangerous is that you bring the insecurities from your past experiences into this new relationship. And right off the bat, I don't trust you. You got to prove to me that I can trust you. Now, that is the wrong way to do it because everybody is different. It doesn't mean because you had a bad experience in your past relationship or relationships that the pattern is going to repeat itself. So you got to be careful with that as well.
Yeah, well, that's that being cheated on, where it has a very profound effect on you, is definitely a cause for trauma. And once trauma occurs, there's this fear in every other relationship. So you have to sort of talk yourself down and probably do some work, whether it's seeking therapy or just self-reflection. Yes, I saw what Dawn said. So Dawn says, to avoid cheating, chase UFOs. They're cheaper and safer.
Actually, you know what? If you start chasing UFOs, you never know. It might turn around. They may be chasing you and you're running for your life all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's funny. It's true. Instead of, I guess, that find other outside interests.
Esther, can you imagine for a second? I know you don't do this and I don't do this, but can you imagine for a second your partner comes home, you're in bed in your dwelling, and he or she's supposed to come back at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's 11 a.m. and you're in bed with your partner engaged in the act. How horrific. First of all, Could it be for the person who actually experiences this and you who get caught? Both sides. How horrific emotionally are these two people experience things in a different way?
Interestingly enough, again, in the statistics, getting caught in the act is a very low percentage of one of the reasons and one of the ways that people find out. That is very low, on the totem pole of how people get found out or how people confess. But if I were to be one of the people in the act of cheating versus the person who walks in, they're both, they're both shocking. In my opinion, if you're going to do that in your own home, you're pretty stupid.
Yeah, but then
really, you're living on the edge and you don't really care, and you subconsciously want to get caught.
Well,
That's my feeling about it. So you want a way out. You're taking that huge chance to do it in your own home with the possibility of your spouse or partner walking in. Then you are definitely living on the edge, and a good part of what you're seeking is to be caught. Now, if you're the person walking in and seeing it, it's traumatizing. God. That's horrific. That's that is the worst way to find out that your spouse or mate is, cheating on you.
And add to that,
traumatizing.
Add to that, and there's been some cases, the brother-in-law.
Yeah, well, that's who people cheat on. That is one of the top, again, statistically, I'm sorry, like 28 pages of statistics. That is one of the main, there's people you work with, people you go on business trips with, people you're friends with, and in-laws, relatives. That is hugely common.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. But that's, that is very common, more common than we realize. So, yeah, listen, it's not an easy subject to talk about. It is, it's a little uncomfortable. There's many different perspectives. We have to respect people's viewpoints on this and respect all different perspectives. Is it all or nothing? For some people it is, for some people it isn't. So, if you go to, for instance, if someone goes for a massage and they get what they call a happy ending, is that cheating? There's all different, there's different ways to look at it. My brother-in-law is not my type. Ha ha ha. That's true.
Esther, I have an interesting story to share with the audience.
Okay, all right. I'm getting comfortable, getting my coffee. Go ahead.
I was a hairdresser for about 3-4 years. And a hairdresser becomes a bit of a psychologist, right?
But a lot of people in the service industry are like, yeah.
There you go. So you develop friendships and all that. And one of my customers at the time had shared with me, I believe it was someone in his family, his cousin, whatever. His wife, the wife to be until they got married on that day, was cheating with, I don't know how you say this in English, with the kumbare. Kumbare, probably, someone
like the best man or the
yes, the best man. There you go.
Okay.
And he hired the groom hired a detective to check.
Oh wow!
Catching them in the act, a beautiful 8x10 picture.
Yeah. Did he get it framed?
500 guests at the wedding, Esther. He taped that picture under each chair.
No way.
The party's going on and all that. He made the party go on, kissing the bride and all that. And then the time came for the speech.
Okay.
And then he goes, how much I love you and all that. And then all of a sudden it turned. He goes, by the way, I'm going to tell you why you're this and you're that. And everybody was shocked, and they were howling at him. Well, what the hell's the matter with you? He goes, I would like for each and everybody to stand up, please. So everybody stood up. Take your chairs, turn them over. The picture was there getting caught. Oh
my God.
And it was the most shocking thing. It just went dead silent. And then it took about 10 seconds. There were chairs flying all over the place, dishes being broken, a real scene in a saloon in a Western movie.
Right.
I don't want to say it must have been exciting to watch, but you know, I hate the outcome of what happened and all that. But could you imagine such?
I can't imagine. And Robert, please write a little film about that or an episode.
You know what?
That is a brilliant. I would watch that. I would want to see how that all went down. That is a brilliant storyline. Like, and it's crazy that it's true. And sometimes, you know, real life is crazier than any type of fiction out there. But this story has to be shown and told. My goodness. Is that crazy? That's brilliant that he did that. I was waiting for you to say that was part of one of the bonbonnieres, you know. No. You get a crystal glass and a picture of his bride cheating.
This guy knew this for months.
And he still went ahead.
Well, you know what? He took all the money from the wedding.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's how the story ended. He took all of the money.
No way.
Yeah. Everybody was fighting.
So now the guests were cheated.
Everybody was fighting among themselves, both sides.
Oh my God.
And he takes off. Unbelievable.
That is a great story. And I can't believe it's a true story. And so where is this individual today? Do we know?
Look, I was a hairdresser back in the day. Look, I was a bus driver for 31 years. Probably happened maybe 35 years ago.
Unbelievable.
But this is like one of the craziest stories I've ever heard, and this is real life, and this is an Italian wedding. But you know, at this point, Italian or not, there, I think the guy was just. Listen, I don't want to sound as if I'm for violence and all that, but I think the guy was brilliant to play along with this for months. He was dating his girlfriend, going over the in-laws and having a good time as if, hey, he was in love with his girlfriend, played along with it. With an ongoing affair that he knew about.
So Lynn, she just asked if he had to give the gifts back. No, he took the money and he ran.
Well, the box was there. He took the box and got the hell out of there. And guys,
that's
you know
perfect. That's brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, had people with towels with the ice bags. Oh my God, it was nuts. It was a disaster in there.
That's what a great story. It's sad and it's hilarious at the same time.
He never told me if the band kept playing. Can you imagine the band keeps playing? The ship is going down just like the Titanic. They kept playing until the end.
That is a wonderful story. Thank you so much for sharing. And yeah, some people do so. He now owns a Club Med. Haha, it's true.
Damn right. Hey, I think, listen, the guy was telling me there must have been like 60 grand in there.
Oh my God.
Oh no, there was like big chunks of money and all that. Anyways, I never heard from the guy since, but if by any chance you're listening to this show.
So Lynn asks her, can she keep the gifts? I think he took all the gifts. He took the money. It was all cash, right?
What gifts? Everything was destroyed in there. There was nothing left. Oh my God. But could you imagine the embarrassment? Not only the girl herself, but the entire family. I could just imagine the disgrace. Oh my God. I think her family disowned her, and they're still not talking to her today.
That's a great story, Robert. Thank you so much for sharing. I want to see the movie now, or the make it into a series.
So why don't we make a movie out of it? We got all these.
Yeah, I'm in. I can play the mother of somebody.
And you know what? We could probably cast some of the audience members right here who tuned in.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a Titanic story. It is a Titanic story. That's please send your self-tapes to Robert D'Alessio at
and Esther Brzezinski and Jenny.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you can reenact something like that with real dishes and the cops coming, oh man, that would be such an audition.
That's hilarious. And Jenny says it's okay. She'll get married to the other guy, so more gifts. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There you go. So that's the ending of the story.
Oh wow. It says here we go. Short films. Here we go.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it's a great idea. It's hilarious.
Well, you know what? Yeah, you sparked my interest, and Esther, we have all the equipment to do it.
That's true, and about like 15 microphones to boot.
Jenny, are you listening?
Oh, Lynn says, "I'll be the bride at 68." Yeah, why not?
Congratulations. Yeah. Are you going to be a bride, or have you been a bride, or?
No, but you can be a bride at 68. Why not? Absolutely.
And you know what? While we're in the subject, it's not the same thing, but hey, we're just going to go off track a little bit. I remember in high school, I'm still guilty, and I hope the principal is not listening. I started a massive food fight in the cafeteria.
Of course you did, Robert. Of course.
I had a sandwich, okay? my friends were there. You don't got the balls to throw that sandwich at that guy over there. I go, oh, yeah. I just threw the guy the sandwich, and then he threw something back, and the whole cafeteria, a massive food fight. Esther,
hilarious.
Man, was that fun. I got in a hell of a lot of shit for it, but man, was it fun.
It sounds like a lot of fun. Wow.
It is.
Yeah, hilarious.
I got a beating when I went home from the parents. Your son instigated a food fight. What? They weren't worried about the food fight. They were worried about the food that I wasted.
That's hilarious. So again, can we forgive infidelity, Robert? I know we both have our difference of opinion. I'm sure that everybody who's listening has a difference of opinion. It is a tough one to answer. It's never just, black or white. It's there's a lot of things to consider.
And here we go. If you need any long distance relatives,
you got everybody going with the idea of a short film. Yeah, that's yeah.
And Michael, who celebrated his 18th birthday recently, happy birthday again.
Yes, happy birthday.
From the UK. And you know what? Why not give a shout out to all the people who have tuned in, the likes of Don Emilio Zeno, Antonia Filiuolo, Lucia Butino. Also, I don't want to forget anybody. Linroy CM, Don Emilio Zeno, thank you so much. We had some Denis Boucher who tuned in as well. Thank you so much. Paul Massey. I just hope I'm not forgetting anybody over here.
Of course, Sonia, which I love her take on things.
Sonia, thank you so much for being part of our show. You're such a trooper. So nice to have you with us. Anybody I'm forgetting?
No.
It looks like we got everybody here. Everybody's covered. You got Michael Ankers. We mentioned him as well. Jenny, thank you for tuning in. And Esther, thank you for tuning in as well.
Robert, I really enjoyed this show. There was so much to cover. There's so much that we didn't cover, but I think, we spoke about the most important aspects of infidelity and whether to forgive or, just break up the relationship where it's in fact a deal breaker. There's so much to say about this. If you have any other ideas or opinions, please let us know. You can DM either Robert D'Alessio or myself, Esther Brzezinski, on Facebook, or even on our YouTube channels. You can let us know your opinion on things. We'd love to hear what you have to say, because we're discussing all this because of you.
Exactly. So, Esther, next week we're going to be talking about another interesting subject, and it has to do with jealousy. That's going to be a lot of fun as well.
And we're not just talking jealousy in love relationships. There's jealousy amongst friends. There's jealousy amongst coworkers. There's jealousy within family. Jealousy is huge. The green eye monster is, quite a devious one, and can be very hurtful and provide us with convoluted feelings that a lot of us have experienced.
And I also want to give a shout out to my good friend Steve, who that's not his real name. That's his company's name. Thank you, Steve, for tuning in. Thank you, Francois C. Boudreau, for tuning in. Angelo Neri as well. Thank you, everybody. Next week, like we said, it's going to be jealousy. Please tune in once again. And your outpour of love this time around, like it's been a few shows actually since the beginning. So what am I saying? 52 shows. The audience has been absolutely fantastic with us, very supportive. We thank you so much. Thank you, TikTok,
appreciated.
And thank you, audience, on our social media platforms, YouTube and Facebook. Esther, you're the woman. You get the last word. What do you got to say?
Thank you all so much for tuning in. This show was not only informative, but actually a lot of fun. We appreciate all the your different opinions and aspects and perspectives. It's so important to us, and we are here to serve you.
And thank you, Jenny Duham, for producing our show. Thank you, Esther, for being an amazing co-host. And everybody, once again, thank you. We'll see you next week. Ciao. God bless.
Ciao for now.